Hello YouTube, Damo_23 here, and welcome back to another episode on the YouTube channel. In today's video, it is another FPL look as we look ahead to game week 17 and also recap game weeks 15 and 16 as with the midweek game week. I wasn't able to get a video up in time about my game week 16 plans. If that's ever the case, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel, and in the comment section of the previous game week video, I always leave a note into what I'm doing. Hopefully moving forward, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. I just had a really busy week with work and poker that it made it very hard to get content out along with the Football Manager content here on the channel. As always, do subscribe to the YouTube channel. The videos do very well, and I'm on my way to 450 subscriptions. So if we can get to the 450 mark by the end of the year, that would be amazing. That's only 20 people that press that red button. Please be one, and I'll be internally grateful. Now, let's go and recap what craziness the last couple of weeks has been. As you can see here, 34 points. And if we bring up the Excel spreadsheet, that was a negative arrow here, as you can see. So a downward arrow there of 5k off the back of a small green. We seem to be hovering in and around anywhere between the 40 to the 60k mark, and we can't seem to push back through towards the top 25k. Our highest point has been the top 12k, which would have been amazing if we could get back to there. But unfortunately, that has not been the case. Unlike the last couple of weeks where we've maybe had a decision go against us, or we benched him and Cassie got 16 points. We benched Taylor. In a week we could have played Taylor and that could have been a big green. This game week in game week 15 was just a poor game week for everybody. I went with Salah. He seemed like the obvious choice. Unfortunately, only got 3 points. Wish we captained the likes of an Mbeumo or a Palmer. But this is obviously the week that Darwin got benched, came off the bench, got an assist, and also the week of the Trippier making 2 mistakes for Everton. And Mbeumo got injured this game week as well, and it left me in a really interesting spot in how my team looked like moving forward into game week 16. In game week 16, we took our first hit of the season, and for someone that generally takes hits a lot early on, trying to get their team white and tinker, it was a big thing for me this year to go, I want to avoid taking a hit as long as possible and really wait and plan out what we can do. And look, we took our first hit. The hit wasn't too bad. We ended up going Mbeumo to Saka, which, look, Mbeumo injured, had the money in the bank, left me some money left over, which is fine. My plan was to get Reece James in as per the previous videos. I'm glad I didn't. I ended up going for Colwell, and the main reason is so I could get Pedro Porro in for game week 17. Or else I would have been funded out of that, and I would much prefer the nailed-on attackingness of Pedro Porro, who looks more like an 8 when he plays for Spurs, than a Reece James that can be a little bit injury-prone. Reece James would have been a punt. I'm very glad I didn't go there because I know Colwell didn't start, but Reece James off in 27 minutes. Colwell played 90, did concede, unfortunately. And that wasn't particularly a good day out there. It also, if you have a look at the team there, it's 56 points. That's taking into account the -4. And if it wasn't for Heung-min Son, we would have been on a massive red arrow of about 20,000 spots into the 70k mark. So it's not too bad. I will say, if you look at that screen, there's a lot of reds in there, but I think guessing that when you're in and around the top 50k, it can be a little bit volatile because if people have good weeks, then it is what it is. I've always been a very good second half of the year player. Always has been. Most of my time I'm out to the top 500k and then end up finishing into the top 100k. Or, last year we were out to 5.7 mil, still finished top 350k and finished top 50k in the Second Chance League. So I really hope that this is still a very good start for me this year, even though it's 52k and there's a number of reds in there. Because I really do think if we can nail a couple of game weeks, and of course have very good chip use when people are going to be free hitting in 18 and etc., where I'm going to be looking to free hit in and around FA Cups and blanks, and I'm going to be looking to wild card and free hit and triple captain in double game weeks, and hopefully make all those decisions correct, we can have a very good half of the second year and look to finish inside that top 50k and beyond. And to be fair, the position I'm in, I'm really targeting a top 25k finish now as well, and hopefully we can do that. Quick note on what the game week was. Obviously, Trippier gets a -1 and suspended for the next week. Taylor suspended as well, so we don't even have him as bench cover. Haaland's injured, and I will discuss on what we're going to do with Haaland in a second, because what should we do with Haaland if he's out? And obviously that's why it's important to make sure you have your vice captain the right players. And our vice captain Salah got the 26-pointer. I'm very happy with that. Heung-min Son is the saviour though. Without Heung-min Son going absolutely ballistic against Newcastle and that game finishing like 2-2 and Son does nothing, I am in the absolute bejeebers. So very, very thankful to Heung-min Son. Let's move into this game week, and I've already made my move, and I'm going to discuss why I've already made my move. If you watched the last video out when I was planning game week 15, it was always going to be Guehi to Pedro Porro to target Forest, and then the future fixtures, and Porro's someone that I think you just bring into your team. He's nailed, he's on set pieces, and with the run that they have, you get Forest and Everton, which Everton are playing really well at the moment. You get Brighton, which is good for attacking returns with Bournemouth, Man United, Brentford, Everton, Brighton, Wolves, Chelsea or whatever. But as you can see, all the way up to your wild card where you're looking like 28, 29, you can definitely look to keep him. And to be fair, if you're wild carding in and around here, you're probably keeping him, and then you probably get rid of him for the run home because Newcastle, Man City, Arsenal and Liverpool are probably going to score goals, and maybe bring him back in for the last 2 game weeks. So he's someone that I'm looking at long term as a great pick. Judging by that, I would have to look at all the other fixture swings very tentatively if I could eke out my wildcard to game week 33. Free hit in one game week, triple captain in another, dead end my team into 32, for instance, and just make some transfers, really target 32, and then look to swap everyone out in 33. That would be my plan at the moment, but that is too far down the track, and it all depends on everyone else's fixtures. It's kind of just what I've been thinking of. Early thoughts as a game week 33 wildcard. In terms of the team, though, I'm really glad that we took the hit, though, and that's because it's allowed us to get a Saka in for some very good attacking fixtures, and plus from game week 19 on, it means I don't have to sell Son or Salah to get him back in. He's already now back in the team. So Brighton a very good attacking fixture. Liverpool, they'll probably score against us, let's be honest. And then West Ham, Fulham, Palace, Forest, and then ourselves again. It's a very good run of fixtures. And all the way up until you're starting to think of those wild cards, you still get a Sheffield and a Burnley in that. If they're going to score, it's more than likely Saka anyway. So to get him in last week is not a bad thing. I know he blanked immediately, but that's all fine. The rest of the team's pretty well set up too. Colwell is a pretty good player to have. Dubravka, I'm still happy I brought him in. I know Newcastle looked tired, but I think he's one of the better keepers to have. I will say, if you somehow held Pickford for the whole time, you've now caught up all the points you missed out early on, so you're very lucky. Tsimikas is just someone that has to play now. Obviously, if Trippier was available, he plays against Fulham and I bench Tsimikas, but playing Liverpool left back against Man United isn't the worst thing, especially at Anfield. At the moment, Haaland is in the team and has got the captain's armband, but if he is out injured, I'm tempted to give it to Son, but I think I'm going to give it to Salah against Man United, considering what we can do. And obviously, with that, Palmer, Gordon, Saka and Son are all fine. That midfield 5 is dynamite. Darwin is on thin ice, and Haaland is got a stress fracture that we will discuss as well. But that's the team of Ariel on a bench and Archer only the playing player. Obviously, Trippier and Taylor both are suspended. Let me discuss what my thinking was with the early transfer. I made this transfer on Monday morning, and the main reason is if you go to Fantasy Football Hub and it's predicting me to sell Trippier for Zinchenko, which I cannot believe, with the fixtures moving forward. I understand why, but it's not the time to bring in an Arsenal defender. If you go to the price changes, there we go. It tells you who's going to go up and who's going to go down fairly quickly. And if you went to Porro, right, he went up to 5.3 to 5.4. So I bought him at 5.3. The main reason is it says the time to change is a week, but I think a lot of people are holding off their transfers, waiting on news to see what they're going to do. I think that a lot of transfers are going to happen late before the window, and I expect a double price rise on Porro, which will make me 0.1 on the early transfer. Secondly, Guehi, if I can spell his name properly. Guehi. No, there he is. Down the bottom. Less than in a week's time, he's going to drop. Now, I think he might hold at 4.6. But if it gets to the late stage, I really wait for late team news and next minute Guehi drops and Porro goes up, I only have 0.1 in the bank. So my plan was to get Guehi out early for Porro, knowing that's my move, but it also means that I haven't got a hit, which means I might take a hit if I need to do something. Now, it's important to note with Haaland, he might drop by the end of the thing, but he's already at 14 mil, it's fine. If he is confirmed out for this game, and with Man City blanking the next game week, going away, and Everton in game week 19 and then Sheffield in 20, I'm almost tempted for what you do is you sell him in 17. I already know who I'm going to get, and I'll show you what that looks like on my FPL Fantasy Football Hub. You don't bring him back in for Everton in 19. You let him go because African Cup of Nations Asian Cup's game week 21. And in game week 20, what you do is I think you sell one of Salah or Son to get to Haaland. And I think what I'll do is actually sell Salah for Newcastle, which Salah could score, that's fine. But sell Salah for Newcastle, get in a better midfielder for that game week, and move to Haaland again. And that would allow me to do, a few good things. And what that would do as well is obviously means that we can bring Salah back if we need to be at a later stage when he's back from African Cup of Nations. Also, the plan would be to sell Son in this period too, and then bring Son back as well, because I really do like having Salah, Son, and Haaland in the same team. What that looks like and what that means to me moving forward is if I go to my team and load it up, if he is out, it would be Haaland out, and it would be to Solanke. That would give me 7.6 mil in the bank, and that would be for a -4. Right? And then if we go from game week 18, with my one free transfer, it would actually be Darwin out to Watkins. And with that, that allows me then to obviously make the transfer, optimise the team. And that would allow me to have a very good team looking for 18, where I've got Trippier against Luton and Porro against Everton. I still have Tsimikas and Salah playing, unfortunately, but I would almost, I would play Colwell over Tsimikas and bench Tsimikas here against Wolves. I think that's what I would do, even though I think no matter what, they're going to concede. And what that allows me to do in game weeks 18 is have a very strong team and potentially captain Watkins against Sheffield or captain Son against Everton. I don't know which one I'll go with, depends on the next couple of weeks. It also means that it allows me to keep Watkins in for the team for the foreseeable future until game week 20, where I look to bring Haaland back by selling Salah and probably moving Solanke up and having Watkins in the team and Salah going to what I believe would be a cheaper option in here as well. It's going to tell me to go to Sterling. I don't want to go to Sterling from what I've seen so far. It's going to tell me to go to like Bruno, but he's out suspended, and I don't trust Man United. If it is someone that I'm thinking of, I actually think of going to Garnacho in this period, because they get Forest and then they got Spurs that they'll score against. Then they get Wolves and West Ham, who are very scoreable against. And I think Garnacho for 4.8 mil could be a very cheap option during this period, which is fine. And it really allows me to go Solanke out to Haaland. And as you can see, that still gives me money in the bank to do things as well, because I've sold Salah here and I can move other moves and stuff like that. And because you're rolling in 19, you'd have 2 free transfers, and then we can deal with whatever we need to deal with the week after. If that's Dubravka's been sold, or not Dubravka's been replaced by De Gea by this stage, because it's the start of the window, you can make that goalkeeper move. We've got money in the bank. Son's obviously going to go in this game week too. In the next game week as well, when he does leave in 21. So we've got to sell Son to another option. Straight off the bat, I'm probably looking at Bowens, and I'm probably looking at who's got good fixtures for this period here. You might be tempted to go for another, Arsenal attacker here, because they got Crystal Palace and Forest in the next couple. And then after those couple game weeks, you're probably looking to bring Son and Salah back anyway. So that's my initial thoughts here at the moment, is that. So recapping, is this game week already done Porro to Guehi to avoid the price rise and drop, and hopefully Porro goes up again closer to the deadline, which is a possibility. We also, if Haaland's confirmed out, and I think he will be out, it will be a hit for Haaland to Solanke, which will give me money in the bank to go Darwin to Watkins in game week 18. That will allow me then in 19 to roll, and then in 20 with two transfers to go Salah down to Garnacho, because I think he's really exciting, he's nailed for Man United. And that will fund me enough money to go from Solanke to Haaland, have money in the bank, which will allow me to go Son to anyone else in game week 21, and deal with Dubravka if De Gea comes in at Newcastle and I need to move to another goalkeeper. Options outside of that as well. I am looking at Everton players because they do look amazing at the moment. I think Dyche has got them playing really good football. I think it's important to get on Everton players when they are, of course, in the best of fixtures. If you have a look there, they got Manchester City in 19. I could go to Decore during this run as well against Villa, Fulham and Spurs, but I don't think it's particularly great. I think if you're looking for Everton assets, you're probably looking to bring him in game weeks 30 plus because you get Bournemouth, Burnley, Newton, Forest, Brighton, Luton, Sheffield. It's a pretty good run where you don't get that run now. You could get Burnley this game week, but we're not bringing him in. So you're getting him for Wolves, Fulham, Villa, Spurs, City, Palace, Brighton, West Ham, Man United, Liverpool. I think you would wait until they play Man United, Liverpool, and then look to bring some Everton fixture players back. So for me, they're not a fixture right now that I'm looking to target, or not a team I'm looking to target now. They do look good, but I think they're a team that are going to survive comfortably and a team that I'm going to probably get Pickford back in for the back end of the season as a goalkeeper and maybe Decore as well, and maybe a Mikalenko or someone else from Everton. I also think Bournemouth players are pretty good for right now. That's why I want to go to Solanke. I don't trust the defence specifically, but it's something I will definitely look to do as well. Hopefully that's all made sense for you boys, and hopefully you guys have really enjoyed the little breakdown here. Hopefully it's a green arrow this game week. If you have enjoyed, do give it a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. As always, leave a comment down below what your transfer plans are, and I can always provide you with some advice as well. Lucky last thing, you're going to sell Haaland, even if he's out for this week. Are you going to just bench him and then put him on the bench in 18 for the blank and then play him in 19? Or are you planning to do what I'm going to do? Sell him. Try to take the upside of Solanke for the next few game weeks and then look to move them all on in game week 20 to get Haaland back. Let me know what you're going to do. Thank you and goodbye.